I want to make this video. It got brought to my attention the other day. Somebody was talking about it, talking about the Seminoles, which are a tribe in Florida that were indigenous, right? Through history and through records and researching, and I found out, which I already knew was true, but I wanted to double check on it. The Seminoles welcomed in the blacks, slaves. It was an indigenous tribe that took in black slaves to protect them. There became the Black Seminoles, which became really close with the Seminoles of the indigenous, right? But they clearly state that it was slaves that were brought into the Black Seminoles. If you fast forward into today, there is a dispute with the Seminoles indigenous and the blacks that grew up with the Seminoles, because they had grandfathers and grandmothers that were part of the Seminole tribe because they were slaves at one point, and Florida Seminole indigenous Indians took them in to protect them. Now they're wanting reparations for being indigenous, but they weren't indigenous, they were slaves. And now the Seminole, there was one spokesman I heard to say that they regret that their forefathers would have taken in the black slaves in order to help them if they knew that today that they were going to do what FBA is doing, trying to take over, trying to claim the fame, basically. It was just something I thought it was interesting. There is no such facts, no kind of credibility or research that shows that the blacks were here prior to the indigenous Indians. There's something in our blood that makes us different than every other race. Blacks, whites, Asian, everything. There's a different thing in our blood that makes indigenous different, and that's how they tell who an indigenous person is. We're talking about facts that can be proven with science and DNA and records. If you won't have all those three, they're not facts. So I just want to speak on that because I am part indigenous, and I feel offended when somebody tries to steal our ancestry. But it's not fair to the ones like the indigenous or Mexicanos that were born over here in the Americas to steal their culture, their ancestry. This is something I think about. It's something that I wanted to talk about. The Seminoles were not a black tribe. They were an indigenous tribe that took in black slaves to save them and protect them. And this is the thanks they get, which reminds me of saying, no good deed goes unpunished. Have a blessed one, you guys.